Can't nobody love me like I'm loving you, baby. Cause they don't know how to love you like I do. Mm-hmm. Can't nobody love me like I'm loving you, baby. Cause they don't know how to love you like I do. I'm gonna love you in the morning, love you late at night. Girl, I ain't gonna stop loving you till you tell me everything's alright. Everything's alright. Can't nobody love you like I'm loving you right now. Cause they don't know how to love you like I do. And oh, can't nobody kiss you like I'm kissing you, little girl. Cause they don't know how to kiss you like I do.
What up, bro?
Let me tell you, can't nobody talk to you like I'm talking to you right now. Cause they don't know how to talk like I do. Now listen, Sam called you cake and ice cream. Well, he called you cherry pie. Ray Charles called you his sunshine. But you never love mine. I ain't gonna let nobody love you like I'm loving you right.
Smash that like for me when you come in the bill.
Don't know how to love you like I do. No, they don't know how to love you like I do.
Oh shit. Come on now. Yeah, yeah. People will steal from their mother. People will rob their own father. People can't even walk the street because they'll never know when the world that's gonna be. Cause that free, almighty God, yeah.
What up?
People don't care who they hurt or be. A woman will sell her precious body.
Just be you.
For a small piece of paper, it carries a lot of weight. More than mainstream. Almighty God.
That might make me some coffee, y'all. What up, Nick? What's up, Pheno 11? You're gonna be talking for a second, man. That's what we're gonna be doing, man. You got it. Look, Nikki picks up on it. She picks up on the thing, don't she?
Give it up, yeah. Got to have it. Some people really need it. Give me cash money. I need. Keep me on that man. How many things have I heard you say? Don't let my truth. How many things have I heard you say?
Don't let it.
Don't let my truth. Yeah. Got to have it. I really need it.
All right, y'all. What's happening? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is your brother Big D, man. I'm about to put something on real quick. Yes, you know how we start everything off here. Let's go ahead and start it off, man. Hold on a second. Got me on mute, man. Let's start over. Boom.
Watch where you walking, nigga. Hey, what you say, nigga?
Watch closely. You're about to experience a nigga moment. Webster defines the nigga moment as a moment when ignorance overwhelms the mind of an otherwise logical Negro man,
What did you say, bitch, nigga? Hey, squeeze it, nigga.
causing him to act in an illogical, self-destructive manner, i.e., like a nigga. Nigga moment.
Hey, wait, man, wait. It's stupid. Hey, you right, dog. Look, let's put the guns away and go on about our business. Freeze.
But they all end up bad. If they had their own category, nigga moments would be the third leading killer of black men behind pork chops and peas. It's a fact. Now let's see how a nigga moment affects a white man.
Watch where you walk.
It's like, ah, prick.
What did you?
Wait
a minute.
I'm white.
I'm white. Where you going? Don't you ignore me. This is a perfectly good moment to throw your life away.
Oh, man. There you go. Oh, look at it, man. Baby lion, man. All right. So here we go, man. We're going to start this off, man. was recently, as everybody knows, man, Tariq Nasheed started up this FBA thing. And, everybody knows I'm proudly ADOS. I put it on the bottom of my websites, proudly ADOS. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all, just so you don't, in case you don't believe what I'm saying. What's up, Russ Sarah? In case you don't believe what I'm saying, man, let's go to one of my clients' websites. He's a criminal defense lawyer, so you'll be able to see his site, man. Kind of see what we do for a living here. Just to show y'all, man, I really, really don't be bullshitting when I say this. Here we go. See, at the very bottom, Retail SEO Man's website, proudly ADOS. So when I say, I'm all about the ADOS life, man, I'm all about it. You know what I'm saying? So really don't be bullshit. So I kind of had a problem with the way that Tariq Nasheed came out with this whole the FBA, especially because it's around the same time as the what's up, Mr. Somebody Gotta Say Shit, man. Check out his stuff, man. He did a great video, man, on Polite last year when Polite did he got his funky on, man, with the condominium scam. He did a great commentary, even though we all know it's a scam now. Still, go back and check it out, man. He did a great commentary, man. You know what I'm saying? It was fantastic. I can't wait for him to come out with some more shit, man. Because he got to say shit. Somebody got to say this shit. Why not be you, man? All right. So, what I wanted to see, Tone Talks actually came out with a video yesterday. It was his birthday. And I wanted to play it and kind of give a little bit of commentary on the video. See, if y'all have anything y'all want to say, man, if you want to come up, kick something in, be more than happy. Afro Samurai, that's what's up, man. It was a lot better than what's been on our weekend, man. It's been kind of bugging out, man. You know what I mean? So, all right, man, let's go ahead and get this thing going, man. Let's see. Chrome tab, share audio. And then Tone Talks addresses Tariq Nasheed. Share. Let's see. Nah. Hold on. Bruh. StreamYard's been tripping, man. Y'all know that, man? Oh, yeah. Hey, yeah, Funkadelic, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me. My internet's bugging, y'all. No sound, man? Is it sound now, bro?
Like 9 cans of shaving powder, that's something. Come on with it again, fellas, come on with it.
All right, right on.
Raise the band, those guitar without anything. Get it, baby. I'm his manager. Yeah. Gonna make $1 million.
I see,
Get it
man.
all till he can't spend it. Don't stop now, honey. Get down. That's it. That's it. Don't fight the feeling. Don't fight it. Okay, that's enough. Get out of here. Here you go. People, listen to this. This is really funny. Get out of here. Going back in his hole. It's the same way it came out.
All right, y'all, you ready? Every time, man. I swear, bro.
Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks. What up, y'all? This is Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks. I wanted to come to you briefly to have a discussion about some of the things that I've seen on the internet both yesterday and today. Again, my show with Dash Radio will be coming back hopefully soon. They've been remodeling. While we haven't been regularly on the radio show, I've been trying to come to you with these live videos, and this is one of those moments I feel like it's necessary just to give you my position personally, and both the position that me and Yvette Carnell kind of talk about when it comes to ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery. You know, the New York Times did a extensive piece yesterday. Another piece will come out from Farrah Stockman, I believe that's her name. She came to the conference, was there almost 8 hours. You know, I don't
What kind of city I missed it,
everything in
man?
the piece, but we here now.
This was in Louisville, man. That's nothing but an hour and a half
Shout out
away,
to the
man.
young woman that had the shirt that said "We coming," that was walking away. I don't think people understand this. This for me personally is a 12-year journey to get here. I didn't vote for Obama either term, so I don't know. You know, I don't. Whoever it is, they probably just in a whole different space than what I did. I voted down ballot Democratic in 08 and in 12. So I've been here. So it's not like an evolution for me. So when I hear people talking to me about politics, sometimes unless you really know about politics, say like Yvette Carnell, because she worked on the Hill, she was a Democratic aide. You got to respect this woman was in the DNC. I respect that level of expertise. Now a lot of y'all will say, you know, it doesn't matter. You go to college.
Facts for
When you
somebody.
get to the point where you say it don't matter that she was a DNC aide, you don't understand how to respect expertise. Fred Hampton once said that you can't go out into the world until you get a political education and start talking politics. And what we see right now, I think in some ways, is that we're not willing to do the work to get a political education. And so what's happening is it's impacting our ability to actually do politics. And I want to get right into it. This is my birthday. I didn't plan on coming on live, but I think it's necessary because I saw, Tariq Nasheed. He put out a tweet this morning. We went back and forth. You saw on Twitter. In no way am I trying to have contention with this man. I don't know Tariq Nasheed personally. I've never talked to him on the phone. I do commend and appreciate his support of ADOS since last year. As I recall, in November of last year, maybe October, because I remember I was going to one of them Halloween horror nights. He did a video and showed great support for ADOS, and since then has been there to support us. In terms of our message and just really making the case for us having a specific demand. I think in some ways we got to be clear about what that demand is and why we, as ADOS, the political education, the data, the Sandy Darity, the Byron Allen, the reality of what we're doing here. Because I think in some ways, I think what I'm seeing now is people are there's a little bit of a shift. And inside of that shift shows you don't really see why we did what we did. So let's get right into it. Tariq's tweet today or yesterday, because I didn't see it till this morning. Trump is actually talking about providing specific tangibles to foundational Black Americans. Yet the Democrats, who Black Americans have been so naively loyal to, are adamant about not doing anything specific for Black Americans. So why should we honestly support the Democrats? On its face, this tweet seems like it's going somewhere. To me, it's not, because in actuality, Trump isn't saying anything, and I'll talk to you about why. But you can't say that without him saying something tangible to the level of $17 trillion in reparations, and I'll address why that's impossible for him to say, because of his tax cuts and his overall base being diametrically opposed to ADOS and reparations and recognizing Black folks. Because you want to or not, that he didn't do the work to deserve. I don't know if every word matters at this moment. Part of the reason that we're talking voting down ballot Democrat is to make it clear that we're not a right-wing propaganda tool. Because right now, the 4 Ds come into play. Dismiss, divide, destroy. You know, they're essentially trying to gut us and call us right-wing, when actually we're just demanding a Black agenda. So as a result, we can't give any fuel to the fire. And I think what I'm seeing right now is an inability to really understand how important that is. Imagery, how important it is to cast this thing as what it is. We're look, Black folks since '74 have voted 90% Democrat. Black folks. When you look at Latinos in the last election, 65% of Latinos
which is amazing.
voted for the Democrats, 35% voted for Trump.
So I kind of get it. You know how Black folks at the beginning, man, we voted strong Republican, man, even up to Lyndon Baines Johnson. I think, you know, at one point in time, Martin Luther King said he was a Republican. So I get that. I also get that, you know, the whole switch that happened in the 70s. And the reason why that switch happened was because of Patrick Moynihan's policy. Patrick Moynihan he was a policy decision maker with an advisor to President Nixon, and they came up with a term called benign neglect. Now, benign neglect was literally just don't pay attention to what Black people say. Literally, that's what it was. And so benign neglect for pretty much has been a de facto policy in the United States since then. So since Nixon. So Nixon, man, he was a bad dude in more ways than you could ever imagine. Because, you know, imagine how many people he has been responsible, how many families' lives has he destroyed. So whenever you decide to pick a politician to represent you, you hold their feet to the fire, and you have to think generationally. What will this effect be on the next generation? Not on you right now, but what's the effect on the next generation, and then generation after that? Because you can see what happened with Richard Nixon's policy.
When you look at whites since '74, their rate of vote for the Republicans has been over 50%, and for the Democrats, it's been like 40%. The Democratic Party is our party. The problem is that we haven't called on them with the specific Black agenda and demanded of them what they owe us. You don't walk away from what somebody owes you and say it's because they don't want to recognize you without making a haymaker of a case. And that's what we're doing right now. And I think for me, I'm seeing this thing, and I responded to Tariq and I said, this is not real politics. Trump performed one of the most regressive tax cuts in American history that left the cupboard bare for any type of major program that would have cost similar to reparations. You cannot say this without recognizing that fact. So you have this reality of Donald Trump, a Donald Trump that passed the most regressive tax cut possibly in the history of the nation. Regressive, meaning he cut everything back. What that leads to is something called starving the beast. There aren't money for basic programs that are already on the books. Forget reparations, $17 trillion. I'm talking Obama phone. I'm talking homeless shelters. I don't know if the economics of things is inside of the understanding of Trump trying to gild the ghetto, cover a bunch of dirt with some icing. See, Trump already said that reparations is interesting, but he doesn't see it happening. He's already said that to us. I don't see how the pieces are fitting for us to get to a space where we even have a discussion about the realities of a Donald Trump that has just passed the most regressive tax cuts. And in addition, in 4 days, Donald Trump will walk into the Supreme Court to scale back the Civil Rights Act of 1866. Part of the
Do y'all know what
issue
this
with the
about?
debate, and I don't care if it's
Civil Rights
Ebro
Act of 1866.
this discussion with Tariq, Ebro's discussion, a whole nother level, or Talib. These people, like what I'm running into is I'm trying to tell you I'm not guessing.
Let me know and we'll explain it.
What ADOS did is force the discussion on reparations. I commend and appreciate Tariq's audience support on that, because we all should be all in on that. That's where we at, though. You can't put one foot outside because Trump is all of a sudden talking about opportunity zones. Now, black agenda as well, but opportunity zones aren't a black agenda. Opportunity zones are gilding the ghetto. See, you know, you had T.I. and you had who else? Charlemagne go down and meet with Tim Scott to talk about opportunity zones.
Nipsey Hussle.
Well, the problem that you saw again.
Nipsey Hussle took advantage of him.
That's Trump's policy. So you going down there to meet with Trump on some policy that we've already know from Nixon doesn't work. I think one of the things that we need here is a.
Wow. Didn't I say it, man? Didn't I say Richard Nixon, man? Wow. Wow. Guild in the ghetto, man. But you know how T.I.'s been saying, you know, for the past, you know, he had a Revolt concert at the Revolt convention, and he, you know, I want to expeditiously know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's garbage, man. You know, if you're gonna say something, then say it, be that way, man. I respect you more than if you say something and then you move differently, man.
Political education, both historically, economic education in terms of reality of the moment, the of what we actually need. See, I've been doing this for years. You know, I did this report with William Darity, what we get wrong about closing the racial wealth gap. I want everybody to go read this.
Facts, especially somebody say I say this shit.
You need to read this before you.
You need to do a video on this, man.
When I met with Karen Bass, the head of the Black Caucus, less than a month ago, I literally presented to her on the wealth data for 40 minutes, but also gave her a copy of this and said it needs to go to all the Black Caucus members. This tells you why what Donald Trump is proposing is not for Black people, not going to help Black people, and in a sense doesn't deserve a tweet that actually says, essentially, let me read it again because I don't want to get the word. Talking about Trump is actually talking about providing specific tangibles. Those are not specific tangibles. And I think if we all get more informed, we can understand that point. Part of the reason that this has to be done this way is because this came out in a tweet. So people would say, why don't you direct that? I don't know Tariq personally. I want to make sure y'all understand that. But in addition, it wasn't like, and he doesn't have to. He asked me before putting this out. I'm just making it clear where ADOS is standing. Now, in addition, I say this to you as Black folks as a whole. We can't get into backward alleying our way back into striverism or do-for-selfism just through the lane of specific tangibles. The reality is this government needs transformational change in the form of reparations, a Black agenda, recognition of ADOS, changing the immigration policy. These are the things that need to happen for Black folks to actually gain progress in this country. Now, people will say, well, Trump is talking about immigration change, but he ain't talking about it in a way that helps us. See, framing this discussion requires you to understand that Trump is not our answer. See, the Democrats are holding they owe us. They owe us for 40 years of voting. Obama would not be elected if not for a Black vote that didn't demand anything. Well, we here making our demands now. Now, before I get into some of the details, you know, Tariq did respond and he said, well, what are the Democrats doing? First thing I'll say is, again, I'm not pushing a specific candidate on you and then you responded to me. So that is a kind of weird logic line. It's kind of hard because as an attorney, it's hard to make arguments when people are making bad inferences. Like, that's not a logical line. You put out a tweet, so you have to support that with both data and history. I don't have to give you an alternative. Now, in addition, The election is 1 year away. We have a plan that we're laying out that gets undermined by a tweet like this because we all can be casted as something that we're not, which is right wing. Now you can personally always say I don't care, but understand that once you do that, you put me in a position where I have to respond, and I'm responding accordingly right now. I'm not doing this at all to be contentious with Tariq Nasheed. I appreciate the support, bro. I'm doing this for a black politics. I'm doing this for a career that I've set up for almost a decade and a half to get.
What's up, dude? Yeah, there you go, man. That's the policy report, man. I actually wrote about it, man.
That'll be in 4 days. Understand that the Civil Rights Act of 1866 was not going to be a national topic if not for Adolph's, the Tone Talk Show, and Breaking Brown Show. I'm not guessing. I talked to Byron yesterday for an hour. I talked to him the day before that for 45 minutes. This may be one of the wealthiest black men in the history of the nation. I'm trying to pull us along here. What I cannot have is things that make it harder and put mud in the sand, because they are already trying to make an argument that doesn't stick. This is one of those muds in the sand. We don't need for Trump to be made into this unicorn that he didn't do the work to actually be even casted as. Opportunity zones are gilding the ghetto. Gilding the ghetto does nothing to fix the ghetto. But don't listen to me. I'm going to cut in a clip of Dr. Cosby in the final version right here and let him, Dr. Kevin Cosby of Simmons College, president of Simmons College, also pastor of one of the largest churches in all of Kentucky. He employs more black people than anyone other than the state in the state of Kentucky. And he'll tell you in your own, because he was on my show. See, what I've done with my shows is I've interviewed people, economists, leading wealth people like Byron, pastors, professors. That's what you got to do to build that political education. Now I'll go into my archives and let him explain to you why what Donald Trump is proposing is not an answer for Black America. That I got to bring Dr. Cosby in, because Nipsey was taking advantage of something called opportunity zones. Opportunity zones took a big boost under Trump's tax law.
Told y'all.
Let me read a section to you, Dr. Cosby. I'm gonna let you chime in right after I read it. Mm-hmm. What it says is, let me find it right here. Buried, and this is from Bloomberg. Buried in the Republican tax overhaul that President Donald Trump signed into law in late 2017 are incentives for investors who fund businesses or develop real estate in new opportunity zones. What's an opportunity zone? It's a U.S. Census tract that meets the law's criteria for high poverty or low incomes. Dr. Cosby, speak on it for me.
Well, I think, Tone, the mistake that people make is that they don't realize that gentrification
100% is salary.
Designed to alter a place, but it's not designed to alter the people who occupy the place. So the opportunity zones is for opportunists who have the colonial mindset, which takes low-income areas, buys that property dirt cheap.
Now, he mentioned the colonial mindset. Y'all know what that is. Does anybody got to kind of have any commentary on the colonial mindset? Do you think the colonial mindset will be able to benefit people that take advantage of it? What y'all think?
And transforms the place.
Come on.
But it does not affect the economic well-being or the wealth positionality of the people who live in the place. In fact, property values tend to escalate, and those persons, because there's been no change in their economic situation, are then moved out because they can no longer afford the taxes.
They get priced out of the market.
And so just because you see a place being developed does not mean that the people who are living in that place and who have lived in that place for decades are.
So you know what the solution is? I can tell you right now, the solution to an opportunity zone. So if you decide to come in and you have a business that's an opportunity zone, you could take over. Let's say you come in and you get this TIF, right? This tax increment financing. I've used it before, taken advantage of it. It's a great way for businesses to make, to save money and also turn, really to make money, because a lot of times they may give you TIF funds as a grant or as a 100% forgivable loan over time. So TIF district is something you take advantage of. But what they need to do with the TIF district is make a requirement that you have to employ X amount of people who live in this zip code or who live in this particular TIF district. If you do that, then you're going to address the gentrification problem easily. So they can easily be fixed.
Being developed also. I've told my congregation, because I'm in the midst of, I live and my congregation is in a very poor zip code. In fact, it's the poorest neighborhood in the whole state of Kentucky where my church is located. The poorest area in Kentucky is Appalachia.
Yeah, I'm taking advantage of it, man.
Appalachia called Owsley County, and the median income or the wealth is about $30,000 median wealth in Owsley County, Appalachia. But where I am, where St. Stephen Church is, it's the income is just about $12,000 a year. I mean, it is. Wait.
So the income is $12,000 a year. We're gonna get into that
then
community and what happened when you bought millions of dollars. You did what Jay-Z.
Literally, all you have to do is raise their income. So what are the solutions to raise their income? Rather than complain about gentrification, that's the deal. That's how you address gentrification. Go and lobby to the city councilman in your area, and you say, hey, if you're going to make this a tax increment financing district, then you need to say this business needs to supply X amount of jobs paying X wage rate. And that wage rate should be enough to have them afford the property taxes in that area. If people can't afford that wage rate, then they need to have some sort of jobs program where there's an educational to say, all right, we'll let you go back to school to be able to afford to live in this area. Make the people, if you're going to take over the area, raise up the quality of life for everyone.
Said you bought all the property, and we're gonna get into whether the businesses came. But what I will say is that if people are worth nothing in terms of wealth, and the businesses they have zero wealth, and they're only making $12,000 a year, a representation of Black America all throughout the South, from Texas to Louisiana to Alabama to Mississippi. Come on.
And let me say also, it's very important to recognize when I purchased that property. I've been the pastor of St. Stephen Baptist Church since 1979. Jimmy Carter was president of the United States. This is pre-Reagan, okay? This is still the 70s, and it's still the era of the boomers before Reagan's tax cuts and overhauling the federal government.
Exactly.
So I was able to take advantage of boomer money. I had two things working.
Come on, Dr. Cosby.
Number one,
you can take advantage of other money. You don't need boomer money.
I had boomers. And then secondly, I was in a community.
You don't need it. You can literally create money. That's the thing. Money can be created. You create wealth. How do you create wealth, man? You create a product. You create a product out of nothing. You come up with an idea. If you don't have ideas, then you do what it takes to spark ideas in the area. And literally, you can create wealth out of nothing.
In which the probably the way things functioned in those days was people were trying to leave out of urban areas. So therefore, since urban areas were experiencing white flight and Black professional flight, the property around me was dirt cheap because no one wanted it. So let me
say something, Dr. Cosby, that's crazy about being Black in America. We don't even know how to see exploitation. So now, since we're back, and again, that'll be in the final version. Since we're back, I didn't really want to have this discussion here on my birthday, but I want to keep it short. I want to read a bit of a report, and then I'm gonna get into another small issue that I've seen, and just give you my stance on it. So, in this report, what we get wrong about closing the racial wealth gap, what you see is I want you guys to pull it up. It's free. We don't charge for it anything. You can actually pull this up. Myth 3 actually kind of addresses this whole gilding of the ghetto that Nixon tried to do, benign neglect, all of these things that went on, and Trump is just emulating that. See, Trump's regressive tax cuts means that he doesn't have any kind of cost.
Did y'all hear me say benign neglect earlier in this conversation? I'm telling you, man, listen to your boy, man. I'm not no dummy, man.
Offer to even levy out programs of any scale that black folks need. Once he has that, he's a moot candidate for us. In addition, his Tea Party-esque like base would never go for actually support of the programs and the plan and the recognition of ADOS the way that we need it. If you don't understand that when you start, you can't negotiate. It's like negotiating with somebody that only got $10 and you need $100. You sitting there talking back and forth with them, and they only got $10. What are we talking about? So let's read. Rather than in creating an inclusive and just economy that does not greatly disadvantage a group solely
I just dropped the link to the report.
Politicians across the aisle embraced the idea of buying and banking black. In 1968, the same year King called for a bank-in, none other than President.
You know how Kentucky addresses that? Check this out.
Endorsing black capitalism.
Look, you know how Kentucky addresses that? Right now, man, there's a Kentucky has a history, man, of growing hemp. Used to be one of the largest hemp producers in the United States, in the world. So what you do is open that land back up to hemp sales, CBD sales. Say, all right, if you're going to put a hemp farm here or put a CBD facility here, then you're going to get a discount. You're going to get a tax break. Come on, man. This shit's easy, man. We solving problems right here, man. Come on, dog. Fuck with me.
In his speech to the Republican National Convention, Nixon proclaimed, instead of government jobs and government housing and government welfare, let government use its tax and credit policies to enlist in this battle the greatest engine of progress ever developed in the history of man, American private enterprise. Black capitalism in Nixon's eyes was public policies. Blacks were offered
I think it's it bubbling out, man. That's not me.
Allow government to hand over the economic problems of poverty and insufficient wealth in the black community to the community itself,
Effectively
ridding the government of responsibility. 17. Go pick that up, Color of Money. So this is what we're seeing is that this report kind of lays out why that idea that those are tangibles is kind of like,
here's a link to the report.
And that's just my position.
So now you can't say you don't have it.
What we have to do is be very focused. We have to be very clear on what we're talking about. Now, it's no problem to have like discussions. Some of the discussions I think could be had privately, but everybody's their own person. They had the right to say what they say. Look, my position and everybody, ADOS is a lineage, but then it's also created by a movement of politics, a very succinct politics around the black agenda and reparations. ADOS is a movement of a lineage. Anybody that's ADOS can go out and talk. And I think that for themselves, for their families, for their communities. But we have a specific message. And one of the things that I can appreciate about the New York Times article about what you guys have done with the different chapters, it's been in line with that message. What I'm kind of seeing right now is a splintering in sorts. And I just want to be clear. I'm not at all trying to be divisive when I say this. In 2018, to my recollection, you know, Tariq came in and I appreciate his support. I don't know him personally. I've never talked to Tariq on the phone. I appreciate that support, but then like, I believe in the top of 19, right around, I don't know, February, March, he started using FBA, which is a whole nother term.
Wow.
It created a splintering that I don't feel was necessary, but he has a right to do. The reason we call it American Descendants of Slavery is that we're making a claim. It's part of it is the legality of it all.
See, Tariq not a lawyer, man.
Around this group that for so long has been lost in Americanness, and then also make a legal institution understand how it rooted a people in terms of slavery. The FBA thing just started coming about and being used, and I myself don't really understand it, but it's okay. Everybody has the right to use it.
He's a nice political. That's political approach.
Of that. We came forward, and then you have Tariq announcing last week, I believe, a competing conference.
See?
I've never talked to Tariq Nasheed. I send him messages once in a while.
See what I'm talking about?
He doesn't really respond. He sends thumbs up sometimes.
Wow.
Maybe once or twice, 3 times he's responded. I want to say clearly that I invited Tariq Nasheed to.
I knew, man, Tariq's a bitch ass nigga, man. I hope he's listening to this shit. I hope he hear it, man. Man, Tariq, you a bitch ass nigga, man.
Our conference when it first got announced, you know, we went back and forth, but then I didn't see the interest level there, so I didn't want to actually, you know, I was waiting for him to say anything back if he wanted to come or not.
Wow.
Nonetheless, we had the conference. It was a rousing success. I really don't understand the announcement of a conference that competes and splinters Black folks in terms of the amount of resource they have.
We don't have a lot of money.
Before our conference, everybody has their right to do what they do. Essentially,
he's taking $200,000 out of the economy.
Flying across the nation only have so much resource. I don't necessarily understand some of the messaging from Judge Joe Brown and what he talks about at times to, you know, economic, like what we're talking about is the fact that working age Black folks, and I'm not guessing when I say this, are largely wealthless. And the demand we have is very succinct. It's reparations, a Black agenda, and a recognition of the transformational things that have to happen in government for that to happen. This tweet, along with some of the elements I've seen, and I haven't seen any details, but the elements I've seen about, you know, Black, it's almost Black aspiration in a way that's seeding into this secondary message, doesn't fall in line with ADOS as I see it. But we all are people, and you guys can believe what you believe. What I'm telling you, without question, is that I have been reviewing the data for almost 5 years, that I've worked with the leading economists, that I talk to the wealthiest Black man in the nation possibly quite regularly about the reality.
They're under attack, man. He should have stayed on code. Hold on.
People that you think are making money or not making money.
So be conscious. He, you know, instead of you know, ignoring what's going on Twitter, why don't he back them up, man? Why don't he stay on code like that, man? Right? Ain't that on code? What is this code that Tariq Nasheed always speaks of, man? Please tell me, what is this code that he speaks of? You know what I'm saying? Then they need to route their resources, man. What's code, man? What's his own code that he always speak of? If one thing you always hear about Tariq Nasheed say, you know, I'm staying on code. You got to stay on code. You got to stay on code. Wouldn't have been on code, man, if he believes in foundational Black Americans, or he supported initially or gave Tone Talk some ADOS type, you know, love. You know, wouldn't it have been smart for him to back them up? Come on, man. He's been duplicitous from the start, man. Duplicitous.
I'm trying to transform that. Let's stay on message. Because we don't need anybody coming in here and casting us as something that we're not. We're not right wing. We largely don't support Donald Trump. We vote Democratic 90% of the time, and we want our pay for that in terms of agenda and political items. That is where ADOS is at. And I just wanted to come to you real quick. Take it how you take it. This is Tone Talks. Again, this is my birthday. I didn't plan on doing this video. No way am I taking any shots at Tariq Nasheed or anything that he's trying to do, but I wanted to be clear on where I stand both personally and what I've discussed both with Yvette Carnell and other ADOS. Thank you so much. I'm out.
Okay, y'all. What y'all think, man? What y'all think, man? You know, because I'm about to move on to something else, man. I'm about to move on to Judge Joe Brown, man, when he went in, you know, on my homegirl Valerie Jones' channel, man. So I'm about to go to that real quick, man. Valerie Denise Jones, man. Her channel's good, man. Let's pull this up real quick, man. Give me just a second. It was him and Umar got into it, man. So hold on just a second, man. She's coming out with the full video today, but yeah, they get into it, man. This is a little snippet of it, man. So hold on a second.
Round one.
So hold on a second. Let me put this on, man.
Round one, fight!
I got a question for you, Judge, if I could.
Yes, sir.
Because I would hate for any listeners, and particularly feminists, to misinterpret your comments earlier.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that shit, man.
About feminists. They can go straight to hell, and I know they hate themselves because they got two X chromosomes instead of an XY. They are fraudulent, self-hating, and they're sick.
Well, I also wanted to clarify for me as
It's
well,
automatically low, y'all.
because I know you had mentioned Thurgood Marshall, Dr. King, Frederick Douglass, and I just wanted to.
They talk about who should get a dollar bill first.
Your comments were not suggestive of saying that by doing a Harriet Tubman movie that somehow undermined the works of those great male leaders, because that's what it kind of sounded
doesn't.
like.
But the objective is, I've heard it from the Hollywood sources I have. These feminists are trying to do this movie so they can get a black woman put on a $20 bill. And they have no interest in this movie is to soften the public up to the idea of taking a black woman who frees slaves by leading them to freedom and getting her or another one like her on a $20 bill. They can't get a white woman, so they want a black woman. They don't care. They just want a woman, and it downs masculinity. Now, everybody on a bill is not a dead president. Don't forget Ben Franklin. He was never a president. So that's plenty of precedent to put in somebody black who was never a president. Like, let's say if we want to go back to the 19th century, like all of the rest of the people are on there, died off in the 19th century or the 18th century. We've got Ben Franklin, so we can have Frederick Douglass.
Okay. But do you?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but you don't have a problem with a black woman, and in this case, Harriet Tubman, being memorialized in whatever way that comes. You don't have a problem with that, do you? Or do you?
I got a
problem
big
with
problem if it's on a bill before they put a black man's face on one. I have a big problem with that.
Why?
Because
Ooh.
the status of an ethnic group is determined by its men, not its women. And that you put a black woman on there before a black man is insulting to the black race because you're saying the men.
Ooh, what y'all think about that? Huh? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, but check this out, man. I'm gonna play some more.
Men ain't worth a damn. Put a woman up there first.
I disagree.
Well,
I disagree. I don't think
and the other
putting
thing
Harriet,
is black male leadership.
Honoring a black woman
need
does
to
not
lead the black race by saying impose your sense of responsibility on motherhood is some decent young men instead of these little monsters that you have running around the house where you don't want to have the father involved with them. Start being real mothers and pay attention to it. That's what
honoring a black woman, Judge, how is that an insult to black men? I don't understand that.
Because if they had a black man on there, it wouldn't be. But if you put a black woman first, that's an insult to black men. Harriet Tubman rescued 250. She rescued maybe 250.
She actually rescued more than that. Judge.
Well, it
more
may
than
be,
that.
but there were black
Listen.
men that did something better than that too. There's one that's down here featured at a house going into North Memphis here, where they had an underground railroad, and the brother got several thousand black slaves to freedom. Okay. But they don't even commemorate him, and you can't even learn about it.
But Judge Joe,
unless you happen to walk in that monument.
But wouldn't
so
you
what
agree?
The hell they don't think they want to do it because you led somebody to freedom?
Judge,
why don't they get the brother?
Judge, wouldn't you agree
Thurgood Marshall?
That Frederick Douglass,
King, Martin Luther King,
Thurgood Marshall have all been exceedingly more celebrated and remembered in both Black history and American history than Queen Mother Harriet Tubman.
They need to put them on a bill and show respect. They've got a homicidal maniac, Andrew Jackson, on a $20 bill. They've got a non-president, Benjamin Franklin, on a $50 bill. They've got Grant They've got every Calvin Coolidge on the damn bill too.
Douglas and King have been written about more than any other
I
black
don't
hero
care.
in American
It's
history.
disrespectful.
Why
I'm a black
not give
man,
Harriet
and I
Tubman-
remember. Look,
why
look,
not
I
give
can-
black women their opportunity, Judge?
I don't
Why
care.
not give?
You put a black man on there first because the thing of it is
I
they are
disagree.
not
I
going to
disagree.
lynch. They are
The-
not going to generally lynch black women. They'll rape them, but they'll lynch the black men.
If they would have
They're
caught
not
Harriet
going to go
Tubman,
in
they would
and
have
take the
lynched her.
daughters
If they
away.
would have caught
never
Harriet
do 'cause
Tubman,
they're
they would have lynched her.
reproductive. They go in and deal with getting rid of the men.
What's good, Ken?
If
And
they
the
would
men
have caught
have
Harriet
the
Tubman, they would have lynched
obligation
the
to
judge.
stand and deliver, sacrifice self, be the
No,
last
not
in
erase
the
what she
damn
did.
lifeboat
How's
when
that
the
erasing what
women
she
and
did?
children get in there first. You put a black man
Judge,
on the corner.
I hope you're
Yeah,
not. I
okay.
hope you're not.
I'm
hope you're
sorry.
not a male
There's no way
chauvinist,
you
Judge.
can convince
I hope
me
you're
that.
not a male chauvinist, Judge. I hope you're
I
not
am.
a male chauvinist.
I am a male chauvinist.
Radio, DJ, One Nation, One Station.
Hey guys, so what's up? This is Valerie Denise Jones. Yes. I was
Check
just
her
as
out.
appalled as you are. Really, truly, I was totally flabbergasted, totally taken aback. Dr. Umar Johnson versus Joshua Brown. Who would have thought it? Who would have thunk it? But it happened. All right, so what you heard was just a snippet, just a preview of what's to come, because here in a bit, I am going to upload the full first half of the show. The show airs in two parts, part 1 and part 2.
Go check
And
her
I
out,
will
Valerie
only
Denise
be
Jones.
placing part 1 on this platform, and then I will leave a link down below in the description so that you could click on it and listen to the full episode. The full episode is about 2 hours long, so I don't want to inundate you with a lot of information. So just click the link if you're interested. And also, if you're confused, just meet me down in the comment section. Leave your questions, and I will do my best to answer as many of them as possible. Dr. Umar Johnson will be joining us next Friday to debunk a lot what was said during the show, because we had police on the line, activists, there were a lot of people, and things really truly got out of hand towards the end. So he's going to come back to out of things that you will join again. I'll see you down in the comment section, and I think that's it. Talk soon.
Wow. Wow. Let me hit the like on that one, man. Wow. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me put her link in the chat. Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. Check her out, man. She's got a lot of good stuff, man. A lot of good stuff, man. Valerie, she's a great lady, man. Great lady, man. She's really cool. So, all right, y'all. That's all I got, man, for right now, man. If nobody wants to come up and talk about anything, man, let's go out to something, man, that I was gonna play.
A good evening. Do not attempt to adjust your radio. There is nothing wrong. We have taken control as to bring you this special show. We will return it to you as soon as you are grooved. Welcome to station WEFUNK, better known as We Funk, or deeper still, the Mothership Connection, home of the extraterrestrial brothers, dealers of funky music, P-Funk, Uncut Funk, the bomb.
Coming to you directly from the mothership. Top of the chocolate Milky Way. 500,000 kilowatts of P-Funk power. So kick back, dig, while we do it to you in your eardrums. For me, I'm known as Lollipop Man, alias the long-haired sucker. My motto is, make mine the P-Funk. Yeah, make my funk the P-Funk. I want to get funked up. I want the P-Funk. WEFUNK, y'all. Now, this is what I want y'all to do. If you got faults, defects, or shortcomings, like arthritis, rheumatism, or migraines, whatever part of your body it is, I want you to lay it on your radio. Let the vibes flow through. Funk not only moves, it can remove. Dig. The desired effect is what you get when you improve your interplanetary functionship. Sir Lollipop Man, chocolate coated freaking habit form. Doing it to you in 3D. So groovy that I dig me. Once upon a time called now. Somebody says that funk after death. I say it's 7 Up. Yeah. P-funk. Cut funk. P-funk. Cut. I want the power. P-funk. Wants to get fucked up. Make mine the P-funk. Make my funk the P-funk. I want to get yeah.
My son probably looking at me like I'm crazy, man. You think I'm crazy, man? Okay.
So you can feel cool. Gangster lean. Y'all should dig my sunroof top. Well, all right. Hey, I was digging on y'all funk for a while. Sound like it got a 3 on it, though, to me. You know, I was down south and I heard some funk with some main ingredients like Doobie Brothers, Blue Magic, David Bowie. It was cool. But can you imagine Doobie in your funk? Ho, W-E-F-U-N-K. We funk. Oh, make my funk. I want to get funked up. Him, I want the bomb. I want the P-funk, y'all. I want the funk saxophone. Make my funk the P-funk. Home of the extraterrestrial brothers.